All right, welcome. I didn't do it twice this week. I am Dynatos1138, also known as David. And what's up, Cass? Where can we find you?
Hey guys, welcome back to a wrestling podcast on another Thursday at 7 o'clock, at whatever time zone it is. I am
Eight
your
o'clock.
one of 8 o'clock. Whoopsie daisy. It's 7 o'clock for me. But as always, I am the Lone Star Casanova, Mr. Must See TV, Chris, goddamn Magnus. And you can find me at that exact same at on TikTok and underscore pump it in Instagram. Welcome. I know it's been about 2 weeks since our last episode. Again, it's my fault. Job things. But again, just like always, if there's not an episode the week prior, we have 2 weeks worth of wrestling content to talk to you about today. And to start it all off, I would love to talk about AEW Dynasty 2026.
Yeah, and I have to, because it's been 2 weeks, I have to remind myself of the card.
Well,
Let's
for those
see.
of us who, remember a tiny bit, because I don't remember everything on the card, I do remember one of the things during the 0 hour that I made sure I wrote down to talk about in my other notes, the Casino Gauntlet Battle Royale for the TNT Championship.
Hmm.
Man, every time that they showcase him, Bandito just gives me another reason to think he's one of the greatest luchadors to ever exist. I don't know what it is, whether it be like just his personality or his in-ring work or just maybe a combination of both. But boy, howdy, is Bandino still giving niggas the business? Because the point that like stood out to me the most, other than like the obvious like conclusion of the match, um, Bandito hitting a deadlift 21 plex on Tommaso Ciampa. That was a thing. I know he's done it before, but god damn it, did it not look cool? And then to top it all off, what was the finish of the match? Oh yeah, Daniel Garcia having speedball in the Lion Tamer or the Dragon Tamer. Apologies, and then out of nowhere, Mister Two Fly with the UFO splash. 1, 2, 3, and just like that, we got a new TNT champion, Dave.
That was a great finish, and it was a little bit of tension between him and Speedball, which is to be expected, but it is every man for themselves.
I'm glad that we didn't get like after match speedball and Kevin they fight and brawl. I'm glad that they were just like, yeah, we did it. One of us got there. And immediately, yeah, now I'm jumping ahead 2 weeks, but that's already Kevin Knight having the TNT championship is already paying dividends for fans of professional wrestling. His first event is gonna be Max.
I could tell just based on like how they put him in photo shoots, they got him in like the promo stuff. They're really getting behind him.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I'm glad that you said that because immediately when he interrupted Max, I was like, this is like the third time he's done this. They're really putting their chips behind Kevin. Like
Yeah.
they really feel that he is a main event star, which you're not going to hear no disagreement from me.
No,
He's
Kevin Knight is a
really on
phenomenal
that
talent.
trajectory.
Yeah.
Absolutely phenomenal talent. And then all the images that I've been seeing post WrestleMania weekend of him, Leon Slater, and Michael Oku all just hanging out. I was like, all right, cool. I fuck with that. Black excellence, yes, sir. But what is one of the other matches this year? Oh, yes, we had a returning Camilla. I'm
Camille,
not too familiar with the Camille. Yeah,
I think.
attack Willow Nightingale behind backstage, which set up a match. Boy, I will find a new reason to love Willow Nightingale every week without fail.
Willow is really, really good at every aspect of wrestling. Like even just the like go getter attitude and oh well she gave it all she got and then I beat her. Like just very peppy.
And that doesn't work with a lot of wrestlers. Like, prime, no offense to those of you who are fans of him, but Cody does not even come up close to the white meat baby face like gimmick of Willow Nightingale. Because with Cody, there are times where I'm like, all right, bro, roll it along, come on, get through it. But with Willow, like every time she smiles, I'm like, I believe it.
And that's frustrating because I feel like, and I know Cody can do better,
Oh,
but
absolutely.
with whatever they've been giving him, he's like got the charisma of bread,
Mm, yeah.
just flat,
And I
stale.
hate to say this, but I've heard a lot of people, pair at this point, and I unfortunately I have to agree. I don't really feel Cody's promos unless he's crying.
Mm, yeah.
Or he hits the enough. I won't lie. Every time he says that, I pop. Am I Mark? Maybe a little bit, but at the end of the day, it works. But it should that shouldn't be the case. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Cody Rhodes is a phenomenal all round wrestler. So I think that it is one of those things which, at this point, it's probably a perfect time to bring up because we both found this information out this week. Apparently, we might not have to be blaming Triple H for all of this bullfuckery. Apparently, it's a TKO guy.
Which makes sense. It does. Triple H is beholden to TKO.
Right.
TKO are fucking terrible.
As
And
we can see.
I did not watch. I proudly did not watch any of WrestleMania. Not like barely any clips too. Like I saw a bunch of clips more than once. Like CM Punk's entrance, fucking
Oof.
cool. But like
Ooh.
I would have never picked up on the fact that that was his old ROH theme without outside commentary from somebody else.
Well, me as a. Actually, I can't even say that because I'll save the story for a little bit later. But as my roommate can tells me, I'm very flippant when it comes to one Phil Brooks. But hey, who isn't? Who isn't? As one American Dragon said, wrestling fans are fickle.
So CM Punk is a very complicated individual because yes,
Oh yes.
he is an asshole. However, when it comes to protecting coworkers from shitty fans, I applaud him knocking that phone right out of that motherfucker's hand.
Right at ooh. I'm glad. I thought we would have to wait till a little later to bring that up, but I'm glad you did bring it up. Shout out for CM Punk for sticking up for fucking Bailey, bro. Because granted, we don't know what his intentions were. You know, we don't know what they were. But at the end of the day, these wrestlers are people, and they don't want your phones being stuck in their faces like they're like animals at a zoo. That's weird and odd. And I'm
You know
glad that
what?
CM Punk is willing to stick up for the female talent on the roster.
What's crazy is I didn't watch a single bit of WrestleMania, but I can guarantee you I remember more of it than anything else in these last 2 weeks because of how often they've shown the clips and the promos and the stuff on social media.
Ooh, well, you know WWE. They love their social media.
I mean, it's not necessarily a bad thing, and I kind of wish AEW would do that because people like me who consume wrestling kind of multitask wise, I
Right.
realize every time is like, wow, I forgot so much of AEW, yet I know a lot of WWE just based on the highlights that are constantly played.
I've been wanting to like converse about this, and I'm glad that you brought that up. I genuinely think it is like WWE doing this on purpose because they are probably aware that whatever may have you, whatever your political leaning, your economic situation, people can't afford Netflix anymore because they keep hiking up their prices.
Mhm.
And um SmackDown isn't on Netflix. NXT isn't on Netflix unless you're an international fan or you have a VPN and you're bypassing the system. It's harder to watch wrestling now. Like point blank, period. I know a lot of people are wanting to say, well, under the Netflix deal, it's so much easier to watch everything now. It's not. Netflix only has Raw. So if you want to watch NXT, SmackDown, Saturday Night's Main Event, any of the pay per views, you'd have to get cable so you can still get USA and the CW. You would have to buy the ESPN app, which is $29.99 a month just for the fucking pay per views. You are making it increasingly more and more difficult for people who aren't already fans to access your product. And that's not even to mention like Tubi, which you have to get to watch Evolve, and AAA is on Fox. TNA is on its own specific streaming service,
Yeah.
and AMC. So it's like, guys, you're making it so much more difficult for people to watch your product. And I don't want it to sound like I'm just like, AEW is the greatest, AEW is the best. It has its issues too. But my AEW for international fans, I don't know when they're gonna port it over for American fans. You get Dynamite, Collision, Ring of Honor, and all the Ring of Honor pay-per-views, all for $7.99 a month. This is not sponsored. This is not a plug. This is just to show you if the promoters care, they will make this as easy as humanly possible for you to enjoy it. You can get Dynamite and Collision on HBO Max.
It with all of this in mind, it was the easiest layup for Tony Khan to be like, you know what? I'm rich. I can afford to streamline it all for people.
And granted, like I said previously, my AEW's like the good shit is only for international fans. But if you have a VPN, easy peasy lemon squeezy, you get everything right there for $7.99 a month. You don't even have to pay the fucking what is it now? $18.99 a month for HBO Max if you were
I
only
think.
using that for wrestling like me. Dude.
See, it's easy for
Sorry, that
me
was a
for
long
HBO
tangent. I'm
Max.
so sorry.
It's easier for me for HBO Max though because like I'll watch House of the Dragon and other stuff when it comes on. I will not watch Harry Potter. Fuck all that. In fact, I might even cancel my subscription when that's going on. I'm not sure because yikes. But I mean, there are other
uh
things, and then when you get the AEW pay per view, you get like $10 off just for ordering it through
yeah,
HBO.
which is a great deal. Like why can't we get that for well granted like let me preface it if you have Netflix as an international WWE fan you get the pay-per-views for free which I'm like okay that's a steal. I will say that's a steal.
But Cass, Pat McAfee gave us 25% off on tickets for the last fucking week of the show.
Ooh, you know what, that's a perfect segue. You know what, we're going to talk about that right now. We're going to talk about how on SmackDown, because I know like I don't think we have to tell the fans this anymore. Dave doesn't watch WWE because he's a good person. I do because wrestling is all I have. Now that we've established that again, I did watch SmackDown week to week to week for this WrestleMania build. I'm sure I've told you about Randy Orton talking on the phone, or you've seen the clips, and everyone was thinking when he said wrestling has more than one royal family. The Rock, Ted DiBiase Jr., he was just getting out of jail. Things were possible. He was at WrestleMania 42. All of these things are possible. I was even hearing people talk and say Jericho. Wouldn't make any sense. I was under the belief that it was Kevin Owens. We then get to the next SmackDown, and who is it? Only all-star punter from the Indianapolis Colts, Pat McAfee, former commentator. You know, he's had matches against Adam Cole, baby, Gunther, and a myriad of others. And that's, of course, the person we all want to be in Randy Orton's ear, talking about how he's going to save the wrestling business, going to take it back to the Attitude Era, an era that Randy Orton was not a part of.
As monumentally stupid as that all was, I think that their end game, their end result, was trying to get Cody to be cheered and not booed. So it's like, let's make Pat McAfee as fucking obnoxious as possible because there's no possible way for Cody to get booed in that case.
And you know what's crazy? It didn't work because they still booed Cody up until the
Mhm.
day. Until the day they booed him. Until the day they booed him. And I just think, well, again, what do I know? I'm just a fan. Just a fan. But you would think that Randy and Cody have enough history between the two of them, some would say 20 some odd years,
Yeah,
for them to perfectly craft a story between the two of them.
at least 2 decades. They got legacy, literally.
I was I was talking to Connor about this, and I hope one of these days we will have Connor on the podcast. My roommate, he is more of a newer wrestling fan than I am, but he still like gets the business. But I was talking to him, and he was asking me, "Hey, what's going on for WrestleMania?" And I had to look him in his eyes with complete seriousness and say, "Buddy, I don't know. I don't know because last time you saw us 2 weeks ago, we were preparing to watch Collision, and I was preparing to watch Raw and all the New Japan stuff. Tell me why all of Monday Night Raw was recaps of feuds and bullshit booking. This was the go home show for WrestleMania.
So it was the not the Raw after WrestleMania because that's pretty
No, no,
typical.
the Raw before Mania, like
Yeah,
the go home Raw show. I was like, why are we were here.
yeah.
We were here watching this as it was unfolding. And I get it. I know there's probably precedent for that. Whereas like, you remind everybody what WrestleMania is gonna be about, what the storylines are gonna be. But like, for instance, Gunther and Seth had one promo with each other. Liv and Stephanie, they've been talking their shit for almost 2 months at this point.
Mhm.
They've had a great build for a feud. Um, but that's like an exception to the well, no, there's two exceptions to the rule. Jade and Rhea, they've been talking their shit to each other, whether it be on SmackDown or on social media. So those two feuds, coincidentally, it's both women. But Punk and Roman was there for what, 6 dates out of the entire build-up for the feud for WrestleMania, which is what, 3 months? You had Punk repeating the same shit over and over again because somebody decided, I don't want to go to work. I don't want to show up. And to make matters so much worse, they keep booking Io to lose singles matches. Granted, now, this is where I'm going to throw to you, Dave, because
Mm.
as someone who was watching, whether passively or actively, Black and Gold NXT, I'm not tripping when I say that Io Sky is one of, if not the best wrestler, not women's, not men's, wrestler on the planet. Right?
Her work in NXT like immediately sold me on her, especially when she was. I I love both facets of EO being like the happy-go-lucky, like the point. She's adorable. Heel EO,
Ooh.
fucking incredible. I loved like the whole. She still kind of does it, but like the whole her music hits and she bends backwards in the entrance. Oh man, that was so cool. She had actual aura doing all of that.
And I just don't understand. Like, I get it. I get it. Rhea's the champ. Rhea is the driving force of the team. That doesn't mean you have to make arguably one of your greatest women's champions of all time seem like second fiddle. Like like none. Like there's no reason that, granted, I understand it's for the purpose of the feud. I don't think that Io Sky loses to Jade Cargill. You can look at me and call me crazy. Whatever. I don't believe that that happens. Granted, she got jumped, she got beat up. I'm under the belief that Io Sky is in the same vein as a Gunther or an Okada. You don't book them to lose.
Based on her match history, you would think in like if you're treating this like reality in a way, you would think EO's in-ring IQ would absolutely destroy Jade Cargill.
Th- Thank you. And I'm like, because I know people are gonna watch this and say like, oh well, Io's like this tall and Jade's like huge and strong. That's not what wrestling's about, and you know that. We know that, and you should too. There's no reason. There's no real reason that Io Sky should be losing matches at all. If Gunther can get away with being undefeated for God knows how long, same with Roman, same with Okada. we should be protecting Io Sky like she's gold. Like, and
I
maybe
mean,
this is just a recency bias.
NXT Asuka was booked like a monster. She had an undefeated streak, and they're both relegated to just this weird box that WWE put them in.
I like I remember my first introduction to the Kabuki Wars was WrestleMania 40.
Mhm.
Like their match against I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't remember. I don't remember. But I remember seeing Asuka and Kyrie being like, well damn, when am I gonna see more of them? And now we're getting Asuka being mean to Kyrie and Kyrie just being like, oh no.
Yeah.
It's not a fun it's not fun to see like a lot of my favorite women's wrestlers get treated like ass. And we will ooh, later on, I will bring this up again because WrestleMania, night one specifically, we got some words. But
The match lengths were so pathetic.
and I got them right here. I got them right here. Um back the last thing I want to mention well, the last couple of things I want to mention on that about that Raw before Mania was I can tell where all the money's going. And I told you this as it was happening. If we maybe took a step back from all the licensed music videos that we're trying to do to build up the Mania build, maybe we could have some more money to book some actual matches. Um and
Well,
a bright spot though, Danhausen. They are continuing to book Danhausen correctly because he's making me laugh.
so I agreed with this, and I brought it up because um, there is a content creator named Books and Body Slams. She is awesome. She's a big AEW fan, but she's also not an idiot and recognizes when there are pros and cons, like for certain wrestlers to be in a certain company.
Right.
Like Danhausen going to WWE was actually a really good move.
Yeah. Who'd have thunk?
Same thing with Hobbs going to WWE because he's their mold.
Yeah, he is their builder wrestler. Yeah, absolutely.
But Danhausen is just with all ages. Danhausen's like doing the curse thing. He saw so there's also these other creators. Kylie was this little girl. She is deaf, and her
Oh,
dad brings her to wrestling. Like the whole
that's so
WrestleMania weekend,
sweet.
they got like I think he got back into wrestling because of her. Like she's a big fan of of Rhea
Aw.
Ripley, and she met Danhausen backstage, and she showed him how to sign her name, like
I've seen that. Yes,
that.
yes.
Yeah, I think I might have sent it to you, but like that
You
was so,
did.
and he like picked up on it immediately, and then like did the "you are cursed," and then started doing it to people with the sign language.
Yeah, I man, I immediately, and I'm sure like the people who know me can check me on this. When Danhausen debuted at Elimination Chamber, it was a very bittersweet thing because I've only seen him from like clips of him like hanging out with Hook or Punk, and I know he's a funny guy. And when he debuted, I was like, oh man, Danhausen, that's great. They're gonna ruin him. And so far, like knock on wood, but he's been every time I see him, I'm like, ah, he's great. Even my best friend Elizabeth, shout out Elizabeth, if she'll ever watch these. But she was with me with the debut. It was me, her, and my mom, and they were very confused. And they were like, who is that? But after like one time she Elizabeth came over and we watched Raw together and she was like, "Oh, this is the gimmick? Oh, I love him. He's great. He's amazing." And it just shows you if TKO is out of the fucking writing room, we can get good shit in WWE.
Yeah,
But I hope they continue. to do more with him, especially now that Ethan Page is on Raw. They have AEW history, and I know Ethan Page can be so funny. I know
They've
he
already
can.
interacted, Did you see
Yes,
that?
the back. Hey, Egon, welcome to
Yeah.
Raw. Oh my god! I literally out loud laughed. I was like, this is. I need this. I need either them as a tag team, feuding. I don't care. I need more Ethan Page and Danhausen.
But that's like another thing. You could see Ethan Page in WWE. I could see him in AEW, but he's doing so much better in WWE. And then you look at somebody like Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, Darby Allin, never going to WWE. Not at
Never.
all.
Never, never. And I'm glad. And there are times with wrestlers, and it's them specifically, like Kenny and the Bucks. I don't want them to. I
Yeah.
think that they fit the AEW style so well that if they were to go over there, it would just be a. And I know I bring this up a lot: an AJ Styles, a Shinsuke Nakamura, or a Finn Balor situation.
They would be like when Sting wrestled Triple H. They would be buried in a major pay-per-view.
Mm. It would be, oh my god, it'd be the Usos versus the Bucks in a super kick band match.
Super kick on a pole. Oh.
The first one to climb the ladder or the pole gets to use the super kicks. Oh my god, that is something that Hunter would do. Just like on the Raw before, or was it the Raw before or the week before that? I think it was a week before, where we had the contract signing between Bork Laser and Oba Femi. And for some reason, they did it separately because, well, not for some reason, they were beating the.
Hmm. I believe Cass was about to say they were beating the shit out of each other, but then he got cut off by the internet. Oh, how you doing there, Cass? What's happening? Yeah, I'll just fill in the blanks. Fuck Brock Lesnar. I'm glad he's retiring. I really hope it's going to work because it feels like maybe here we go. Um, yeah, I really hope that Brock Lesnar is actually retiring. He can fuck off to Minnesota for the rest of his life. I don't think that's going to happen because certain people like Hulk Hogan, Undertaker, regardless of their accolades, they're all extremely shitty people.
Think
Here
I'm
we go.
back? There
What's
we
up?
go.
I
Sorry
was
about
just
that.
I was trying to fill in the blanks of basically saying, yeah, people like Brock Lesnar, Undertaker, and Hulk Hogan, regardless of their accolades, are really shitty people. Because I think you were about to say something about Brock Lesnar, so I just
Yes, no, I was talking about the contract tenor between the two. They did them separately, and for some reason, Triple H was there for both of them. Not to say anything, but to strictly just be like, "Here they are. Look at them. Look at the stars I've created." Huh? It was just really dumb. But I will say, um, Oba did cut a very dope promo on Heyman, which is not surprising. Every time I hear him with the mic, it's intimidating. It's aura. It's just straight aura.
the I saw a clip just before this. I don't remember what team it was, but the Oba Femi walk has now become a football touchdown celebration.
Yes, yes, it has. And I'm not mad about it because I was literally arguing with some guy this morning on my TikTok because he was like, Obafemi, he's being forced just like Roman was.
I
And
saw those arguments.
I was like, what? Forced? I was at NXT deadline in San Antonio.
I I lived through the Roman Reigns hate. This is nothing like that.
Not even close.
Roman Reigns
No way
hate was
near.
so fucking vile. Like I think I started to become a fan of Roman just out of like pity or not wanting to associate myself with shitty people because they're just like the same breed as like Cena haters. And now everyone's out of the woodwork. Oh, I always loved Cena. No, you fucking didn't.
Nah, you didn't. And it's okay if you didn't. I don't see why it's a problem that like if you didn't like John Cena before, that's fine. People
Listen,
have their preferences.
I took a break from wrestling when John Cena like first appeared because I did not like the gimmick. I did not like the gimmick, and then now looking back at it, I wish I had stuck with it because when you look at the whole picture, it's like, oh no, that was actually really funny and really cool. And I wish I had looked beyond the initial part of it because the initial part was like, I'm gonna stop watching for a while.
Yeah, speaking of stop watching, oh my god. They debuted Liv Morgan's music video on Raw.
Oh, it was so bad. It okay, so the song grew on me a tiny bit, but it had the same feeling as when Fergie sang the national anthem in a basketball game, and she looked like she ate, like she looked like she thought she ate that performance. That is the
Mm,
same energy I got from Liv Morgan. Now it's
she,
not as bad as
no,
Fergie's
no.
performance. There's not a whole lot that is worse. Um, and the song is growing on me, so maybe it's eventually going to happen. But like it was so Britney Spears coded. Like she was trying so
Oh
hard.
yeah.
Even apart all those chairs. That was the crazy music video, like almost verbatim.
I I how can I say this without seeming evil? I'm a classically trained singer. Nah, I can't. That was bad. Ass, dog water. Hang it up. Stick to your day job. You're great at it. One of the best. Please don't pick up the mic again. You don't need more studio time. I
Most of that
when
was auto tune
I
anyway, wasn't it?
yeah yeah absolutely. When I was watching that, I said, yeah, I think it's good time to go do something else, anything else. 'Cause, oh my god, because the whiplash of Liv interrupting the interview with Stephanie and Kathy Kelly and like bum rushing to both of them to where Kathy Kelly had to get like dragged out of the ring and like like walked off the ramp by a medical, and then the next week it's just like, guys, check out my music video. Aren't I so cool and hip? No, you're not. I don't like when Trick does it because I know Trick likes to fancy himself a rapper. Nigga, Weird Al is better than you. Ooh, I know it's gonna make people mad. Ooh, I know it's gonna make people mad. But it's true. It's very true.
Hmm.
And and because of that, we're gonna switch over to AEW. Oh my goodness. The first thing that I have in my notes, which probably the only time this happens, it just says, I be forgetting Nick Wayne is good at wrestling. I'm assuming in reference to the Eliminator match he had with John Moxley
Hmm.
before
Hmm.
the Dynasty pay-per-view. Thoughts on Nick Wayne?
I don't know a whole lot about Nick Wayne, but when I see him wrestle, I am also very surprised every time.
Because I remember when I first started watching AEW, it was him and Hook that I was like, now come on. You gonna try to make me believe these niggas can wrestle? And over the time, Hook, I'm still 50-50 on. I still don't get it. But hey man, whatever.
I don't know. From what I've seen, like Hook did surprise me. Like I'm like, well, this guy is just mean mugging the camera, crossing his arms, and just coming out. But then he's also got the bat signal in his entrance, but it's got the H,
His
you know.
entrance is sick as fuck. I cannot
Um,
lie.
and just when he comes out and just basically beats the shit out of someone, chokes them out, and then leaves without any pomp or circumstances. Like, all right, bye. That's I like when gimmicks are simple, and that's a pretty good one.
Yeah, and then you remember that like he's Taz's son and is like mentored by Samoa Joe, and then it starts to make sense a little bit more. I just need to see him wrestle more because
Hmm.
I don't know if he's hurt or what, but like we just get backstage segments. But I will say he is becoming more comfortable on the mic.
Yeah.
And speaking of comfortable, God, Roddy's back. Oh my God. I mean, not Roddy, Kyle O'Reilly. I just everyone knows I love Roderick Strong, so I'm not going to explain that what that
Well,
was.
they're in the same group. You know, they're cut from the same cloth practically.
Yeah, that undisputed cloth. But I'm so glad that Kyle O'Reilly is back and the conglomeration continues to be like just a great team. Like it perfectly mixes like comedy wrestling and just beating the shit out of guys.
Yeah, and Roddy keeps finding ways to fit it. Like, you know, he was great in NXT as like the cookie cutter face, and then I still thought this was going to happen in AEW, but then when he turns heel, like, oh my god, he's joining the Undisputed Era, and then he fit like a glove
Oh
in that
yeah.
faction.
Personally for me, I like Roddy better as a heel, but this current thing he's doing, which is like the begrudging, like I guess I love it. I love it. And now he's fully conglomerated.
It's almost like Marina Shafir. You know, she's more 100% in on the mean mugging and being, you know, heel, but it's almost like she's influencing him in some way.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the conglomeration of the Death Riders go at it over the trios titles. Because when they lost to the Ops, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, and I
like,
fuck it. It's not like they don't put the Death Riders in every situation ever. So I'm sure we're gonna see that match soon. Because what this Saturday it's gonna be them versus well, the conglomeration versus the Don Callis family. So I'm like, yeah, it's inevitable. Probably a double or nothing.
oh man, so jumping around again, you just reminded me of when Don Callis was at ringside and was shocked or elated when they called the match for Will Ospreay. And
Uh,
I remember texting you this, going like, "Yeah, I'm gonna change my move set. Look at me get dropped on my head, bruv." Like,
yeah. That's I have it right here. Will Ospreay versus Hechicero made me realize that there is no reason that Will can't be a technical wizard. And yet, he chooses to do the exact same shit that he was doing before the double neck fusion. And they even mentioned it on commentary. Tony Schiavone was like, yeah, I talked to the kid. And he was like, I can only go 100%. That's all I know. Listen, man, you're a father and you're my GOAT. I want to see you win the AEW World Championship. You don't need to be wrestling every member of the Don Callis family. Do you remember what happened when fucking Darby did that? Granted, it worked, but he didn't have to wrestle Takeshita or Okada. So
yeah,
I
Darby
just
goes
want my boy
back
to be all
first and
right.
everything, and then Will goes head first into everything.
Yeah, yeah. Man, we're gonna be talking about a lot. We're gonna be talking about Darby a lot, a little bit later. But before we get to that, uh, as we know, Gabe Kidd is hurt. I think he has like a shoulder injury. So the dogs are now a tag team. They declared war on the entire tag division just to send a message to FTR. And I remember watching Dynamite and being like, oh, because the first was like, oh, that's the dogs' music. And then every tag team out there decided to just get their shit rocked. And I said, damn it. I will love to see the dogs versus FTR. That's gonna be a bloodbath, but I still want Cope and Edge to win. Christian and Edge to win the tag belts just for a little bit.
So
They can lose them immediately.
Cope and Christian basically when Cope Copeland, Adam Copeland. I don't even know if he's going by Cope anymore. When he said that we'll retire as a team if we lose, that little caveat was like, oh, okay, so you are losing because that
Yeah,
just seems
you're
too
losing.
specific.
My only other thought was, other than because I had the same thought process. He was like, oh, they're fucking losing. Was they win, and then we get FTR, the Bucks, and Christian and Cope in a TLC ladder match. Granted, it won't be able to be called a TLC match because of copyright, but whatever. It is a ladder match that just so happens to have chairs and tables.
Huh. No, I can't think of a clever name to fit in concerto somewhere.
Uh, the first person to get hit by a concerto gets eliminated, and then just and once there's two teams left, then it's a regular tag match. They can do literally anything.
Dude, the funniest bit would be if somebody, not even just Cope and Christian, but if like FTR went under the ring and pulled out one of those planking boards that Edge and Christian keep promoting. I keep seeing
Yeah.
that shit on my Instagram. I was like, what if they just pull one of those out and whack them over the back with it?
Well, given that it's going to be a New York street fight, we're probably going to see Spike again, so we can at least look forward to that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. What else do we get on that? Oh yeah, the Rascals versus the Young Bucks, and you're just showing me that tag contention. I don't care which two it is. I don't. I I really don't, because the Rascals are so good, and every time they get out there, they just make me realize that they haven't been doing this that long. Like in the grand scheme of things, like they've been together for like what, 6 years,
Hmm.
less maybe, and they're at some points in that match out wrestling the Bucks. I just mean just I don't care. I don't care who does what. If Myron's the singles guy, if Desmond's the singles guy, I don't care. All of them need to be pushed to the fucking moon. And I don't think you'll disagree with me on that.
No.
Because when I see things like Tommaso Ciampa using Desmond Xavier to like literally from his mouth make an example out of him and call for the world title, those are things that I don't want to see. Not at all. But this is the point in the podcast where I have a dissenting opinion from everybody else. Darby Allin, after beating Andrade at Dynasty, which we'll get into Dynasty at some point, beat MJF in a squash match and is your new AEW World Champion.
The only thing I didn't like about that is the aftermath with the fans basically comparing that to the ads on WWE and basically just, I mean, there's definitely one that's worse. It wasn't Darby versus MJF.
It wasn't because I'm 100% positive that people were talking about Darby winning more than they were talking about the WrestleMania build.
Yep. Yep.
Which, I mean, am I glad that Darby won the world title? I guess he should have won it. He deserves to win it. I don't think he should have beat Max. But I'm not booking the company. I'm not booking the company. I'm just biased to Max.
But see,
Because if we want
now,
yeah.
now they have MJF all over social media in all caps. What the fuck? You stole my belt. Give me my belt back. It's so good. MJF is so good at that.
I will say him changing his Twitter border to like the cheating in the big circle with the line through it, and him just being like, I'm gonna sue Tony and AEW and Warner Brothers Discovery and Darby Allin and Aubrey Edwards. Yeah, it's been fucking hilarious. But I remember very vividly telling all of my wrestling friends and being so confident, guys, wrestling is fixed because Max has the belt again. You guys aren't ready for the train of hell that we're gonna go on. Darby? Darby Allen? Okay, it's fine. It's fine. However, something good did come out of all of that nonsense. We're getting Okada and Takeshita at Double or Nothing.
Mhm.
And you get to see that live.
I do.
So you'll be able to tell us your real in person reactions to that match when it
And
happens.
this will be like one of those rare occasions where I can actually pay full attention to a wrestling
Because
match
you're gonna be there.
because I'm going to be there, and it's so you really don't know about it until you're actually experiencing it. Live wrestling is the best live experience I've ever gone through.
Oh, 100%. I remember my first live show I went to. I still remember it to this day because it was just so just like the energy is different. Granted, I did have fun with Dynasty. I 100% did. Every match on that card made me stand up or cry or feel some level of emotion.
I
Like, go ahead.
I was just randomly thinking of when you went to the wrestling event, you went with a person that is semi familiar with wrestling, right?
Um, Older wrestling. I went with my mom. Oh no, I went with my dad. My dad. He yeah no he's been watching wrestling for like longer than I've been alive.
This is like a decade ago, but I took my dad to a wrestling event. I took him to a Monday Night Raw,
Mm.
and he there was a match. I think it was Dolph Ziggler versus The Miz. I want to say. I know Ziggler was
Uh,
was one of the people. Um, and they were doing a resting hold. They were doing like a headlock down on the mat, and typically the crowd to cheer on the face to get up off the mat will start clapping.
right.
So we're doing that. I'm doing that because I know like what's happening. And my dad's doing it too, but then he leans over and goes, "Why are we clapping?"
It's
And I was like, "Oh yeah, that's right. You don't know what's going on." All right.
like yes, yes, yes. Let me teach you the ways. I have to deal with my mom now that we're watching AEW more frequently. Well, at least she's watching the pay-per-views. And she's like, "What are they chanting?" And I got to be like, well, they're swearing. They're saying "fuck ice," but it's still a fun chant nonetheless because we mean it.
Fuck Don Callis. Fuck Ice too.
That. Oh my god, I need Brody and Takeshka to have a match just so we can get those chants. The back and forth "fuck Don Callis" and "fuck ice" chants. And speak to bring it back to why your viewing of Takeshita versus Okada at Double or Nothing is going to be fucking awesome because to open the show, it was the tag match between the Bucks and the Don Callis family, which I called it, maybe not the exact way, but I did say that Takeshita was going to leave Okada open for the pin.
Yep.
And damn, do the Bucks prove every single time they have a pay-per-view match that they are the greatest tag team of all time? Point blank. Even though there was a point in the match where they weren't even in the ring and Takeshita and Okada were just punching the shit out of each other. I, this match is going to be insane. I can't wait. And all right, I need to already bring this up because I've waited long enough. John Moxley versus Will Ospreay was one of the greatest wrestling matches I've ever seen in my entire life. Ooh, the bell rang, hidden blade. How about a second one? And then that Essex son of a bitch. I got time. I got time. 20 minutes? We can make this rock. And that moment I knew something in me. It wasn't like the forefront of my brain, it was like the subconscious. You niggas losing. I said, oh, okay. And then they proceeded to have one of the most butt wrenching matches. Just Oh, I didn't like watching that after a while. I was starting to feel sick. But God, God, do those men know how to put on a fucking show? Same with Darby and Andrade. That was a match that I was like not really looking forward to, other than the aspects of like watching Andrade wrestle on a pay per view again. But damn,
And that was on Andrade shook his hand after the match, right?
yeah, because he's in that baby face turn because Don Callis is fucking up Andrade's motion.
Yeah, dude. The
But
Don
I
Callis family
respect
is too
that
big anyway.
for real because as of right now, my predictions are still Kyle, Takeshita, and Andrade turning face and dipping. Those
Yeah.
ones, maybe not turning face, but at least leaving the family. Um, I know we sneak mentioned this before, but the dogs versus the conglomeration. Um, that's how Gabe Kidd got hurt, and how we have new trios champs. And I don't know if we predicted who their mystery person was going to be, but if we did, I'm sure we said Kyle O'Reilly.
Yeah, I think that was a general consensus would it be Kyle O'Reilly. And then when he
Yeah,
came out, I'm like, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
yeah. When I was watching the pay per view, someone was like, "Where's Adam Cole?" I was like, "Retired. Don't bring his name up if you don't want to see a bunch of grown men cry. We miss you, Adam."
He's off. Hopefully, well, I was about to say he's off with Britt Baker, but I don't know how that's doing either.
They broke up.
Okay.
Yeah, amicably though. So Um, God. Speaking of former women's champions, she was right,
Who? Oh,
Britt Baker.
Britt Baker? No, no. Wait, shit. I don't think she ever got it.
Really? It's just the frantic typing.
I type fast. Okay. Okay. No, she won it back in 2021 at Double or Nothing.
Oh, okay, okay,
No,
okay. So my segue
oh,
still stands.
okay. No, it makes sense. That was the old belt. Yeah. Okay. I'm remembering this feud a lot now. Now that I'm seeing
Okay.
some stuff, she had like her makeup stylist with her, accompanying her to the ring. That was a cool time in AEW. I think I want to make sure. I think that was the only time she won it. Uh,
Yeah, it
um,
looks like she defeated Hikaru Shida to win the belt.
yeah, she's one time, and then her other achievement is winner of the 2022 Women's Owen Hart Cup.
Yeah, because that's the year that her and Adam won it.
Hmm.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
okay, cool. Either way, Tekla, your girl, her and Jamie Hayter had a fucking barn burner. There was a point where I believe Jamie did either a tope or like off the turnbuckle, and you could audibly hear both women being like, "Hey,
yes.
I need a minute. I need a minute. I'm fucking dead, girl."
One of them said, "I need a minute," and the other one goes, "Yeah, me too," and they just fell over.
And I was like, "Yeah, I believe it. Y'all were really throwing hands because Jamie Hayter hits hard. I know that's her gimmick, and that's not a bit, but like she's one of my favorite strikers in wrestling. But at the same time, Tekla just don't go down.
No, that spot even. I think it was Tekla jumped at Jamie, and she went bam, full force cross body into her. Like the whole impact looked like it hurt.
Yeah, and I'm just like, there was a lot of moments in Dynasty where I was like, ah, like I was like the paradigm shift on the steel steps during the Continental match. I was like, Jesus.
Yeah, yeah.
And then he threw him back in the ring to hit five more paradigm shifts or however many it was. It's like, well, you don't have to do this, man. Like you should have just pinned him after the first hidden blade. or shit, the second one, or the third one, or or the fourth one. Mm. But another match that was just a complete standout for me was obviously the main event because it's two of my favorite wrestlers, and it's just a stark difference between both Mania main events.
You know what's
Just
fucking great? And, well, not great. I'm being sarcastic. This was a Sunday night. I had to
yes,
choose between sleep deprivation and watching the AEW main event.
as did
I
I.
I had to go to sleep because I knew I was going to be dead the next day if I didn't. I never got to see the main event.
Oh my god! Well, let me tell you some stuff that happened. MJF kicked out of the One Winged Angel.
I heard about that. I did hear about that. Yeah.
Granted, were there some shenanigans involved? I didn't know. I didn't have my glasses on. All I saw was MJF kicking out the One Winged Angel. All right, man. That match was so fucking good. Um, there was a point where Kenny hits a V trigger while Max is standing up, and it sounded like a gun went off. Just snapdragons, bulldogs, the you can't escape, just all the Kenny hallmarks. But Max was Max. If whenever you get a chance, you need to watch that main event because me explaining it doesn't do it justice. If I'm MJF, and I know he's already been doing this, but I'm never gonna shut up about beating Kenny Omega. A 100% Kenny Omega, one that's talking all this shit about maybe I am the god of wrestling, maybe I can beat the devil at all of his tricks, and I kicked his ass and kicked out of the One Winged Angel. Yeah, man,
Shout out to Jade Cargill for also doing a One Winged Angel at WrestleMania.
it's called the Sandstorm.
Mm.
It's called the Sandstorm. It's not the One Winged Angel because the second I saw that, I looked over to my mom and I was like, "You saw that?" She's like, "What you do?" I'm like, "That's Kenny's finisher. You know, the one that's never been kicked out."
Kenny
And then
was
here
cool
I
with it
go.
though.
I was gonna say I opened up Twitter. He was cool with it. Hey man, I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. Um, now that we've talked enough about the good pay per view, let's talk about the bad one.
But first, it's brought to you by Dude Wipes. No.
First is brought to you by Hulk Hogan documentary on Netflix because
Didn't they
that's what you
plug
want to
that
see.
so often? I hear that it was plugged quite a bit.
It was plugged almost as much as the wrestling.
Nobody wants to see that old ass racist.
Nah, nah, they don't. Well, some people do, but they're idiots.
I mean, I would go visit his grave probably to use it as a bathroom, but that's about it.
Man, that's it's the nicest thing I'll ever say about Hulk Hogan. Now, other than the fucking ads, because there was a plenty, we had matches at WrestleMania. You know, God forbid that happens, but we did have matches at WrestleMania night one. You know, to open the show, we had the highly anticipated six-man tag match between the Usos and LA Knight against the Vision and I Show Speed, which somehow, some way, the YouTuber was the most interesting part of the match.
Yeah.
The splash through the announce table was definitely the highlight because it's the one they keep showing. They're not showing anything else from that match except that.
Yeah, that was it. That I've definitely seen that one the most. And I give props to I Show Speed. I think his name is stupid. I think that like I've never seen much of his content. I don't know. Just me being an old white guy, I guess.
I
But
will say that
he's good at wrestling. He's pretty good.
yes, with I Show Speed, he puts 100% into whatever he's doing. Like the last time I saw him before he was doing this, he was like touring China and like studying to be a monk, like a Shaolin monk, and was like actually taking all the training very seriously. And that's the one thing I can give him. Whatever he puts his mind to, whatever he's gonna attach himself to, he puts 100% of himself in it to respect the craft and the people who are attached to it. And I appreciate that. I
He even
do,
had
because we have other people who don't.
he had LA Knight beat his ass on his live stream. Like that
Yeah,
was
he even though with the curse, when Danhausen cursed him, he's been working that gimmick on his stream too. Like he had like a call with his like agent and was like, "What do you mean I'm losing sponsors? Well, what's going on? It's this damn curse." I was like, "Yeah, yeah, that's cool." And then, oh my god, WWE, stop doing unsanctioned matches. If it's not Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens in one of them, fucking stop doing them. Because why was there more blood in the main event of Mania than the unsanctioned match?
yeah. From what I understand, the unsanctioned match had a lot of very sanctioned things in it.
Yeah. So like at one point, Drew McIntyre gets like a wrench and starts like hitting Jacob in the head with it, and like starts like with the pointy end. No blood, none. Drew McIntyre grabbed like the red toolbox that he had during the Punk Hell in a Cell match, hits him with that. No blood, nothing. I was just disappointed, and that's a lot of night one of just disappointment. Most of the matches were under 10 minutes, with the exception of Gunther and Seth and the main event. But everyone's telling me Gunther and Seth had the best night of the match, best match of the night. Two of the greatest WWE wrestlers of all time don't even go 20 minutes, and you're gonna tell me that's the match of the night? Granted, I got Braun Breaker back in that match. Cool.
Braun Breaker, and now there's that whole freeze frame meme of him just running full speed in the wind, and
Yeah,
basic. I think both parties have to be on board with the move a lot of the times. So when he kind of misjudged the spear, it was also Seth not really jumping into it. It was kind of like a
yeah,
whole split second decision. They collided and it didn't quite connect. But like, I also don't care as much as
yeah,
other people are caring about it, because like I like when moves like that, like the spear, has been done by 500 fucking other wrestlers. I like when the spear is done differently to kind of put their own flavor on it. I like Jey Uso's spear, and all it really is just a shoulder tackle that's like it's like this weird midsection clothesline, and I still fucking loved it.
okay. I gotta say this. Every spear is a running shoulder tackle
Yeah,
because that's what it is.
yeah.
And that's not towards you. That's just to all the jabronis who are just like, well, hey man, it's a running shoulder tackle.
The difference also is when, like, say, for instance, Goldberg, whenever he does that spear, the
Bill.
other guy has to look like he died. He has to look like
Yes.
he's getting impacted and fall over. He has to do all of that to make it look like dangerous and threatening.
Yes. You know who did not look dangerous and threatening, no matter how much they try to sell me? Becky Lynch. I'm so sick and tired of this feud. I'm over it. Please, if this better be the last one. Because this match was not good. And that's sad to say because Becky Lynch is arguably one of the greatest women's wrestlers of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like, this is what, the third AJ Becky match? What more can you do? Like, I love Becky. I love AJ, but like the match was what, like 8 minutes? I would have much rather see an 8 minute Julia match. I'm so sorry. Like night one of Mania was piss poor. It was saved by the main event, but the bar was in hell. Like the only reason that I think a lot of people are liking that main event is because that they got rid of Pat McAfee instantly. Like immediately. And he had one other spot towards the end of the match. But it's just like I'm sitting there watching Cody Rhodes kick Randy Orton in the balls and do the Madison Square Garden Orton stomps. And they're like, you got Michael Cole on commentary being like, no, guys, you don't understand. Randy deserves this. Cody Rhodes is absolutely justified. Do you remember how they were torturing him throughout these weeks? Get him, Cody. And granted, I was too, but I was expecting Cody to like turn heel, especially because they were showing us all the heel Cody attires. I was like, oh, okay, legacy Cody, undashing. Okay, we're setting something up. We're setting up a double turn.
To
No.
be fair, a lot of Cody's career prior to AEW was heel and Stardust.
Yeah, that's true, but it worked. I like look back at his Ring of Honor stuff. That was like when he was some of the most over. When he
Well,
was in like New Japan and Ring of Honor.
it's like what I mean when I know that Cody can do better. Like even just saying dumb shit like what animal is that? Huh? Huh? It's a
It's a
fucking
fucking horse,
horse.
Hangman.
I loved that. It's so stupid and random and funny.
Get your own fucking dog, Kenny. Oh my goodness. But you know what? As bad as night one was, I was excited to see Paige back.
hmm so I would have taken anything to get rid of Nikki Bella. Putting Paige in her place, fucking perfect.
Sounds like you really feel.
She is such like a vacuum on like I like Brie. I like Brie Bella. I like Brie when Brie was like singles run. That was pretty cool. She did concuss Liv Morgan at one point. That was pretty bad, but accidents happen. And
Yeah.
even though a lot of what Brie was doing was kind of mirroring Daniel Bryan at the time, she had the flannel shirt tied around her waist. She did the yes chants because that's what her husband was doing.
The kicks.
But yeah, and I mean, at least it worked for her.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
Nikki is just this vapid persona that's just like, oh, I should be respected because I'm a legend. Man, you spent half your career being glorified escorts for Raw GMs. I I'm so sorry. That is I don't want to be insensitive or an asshole, but oh my god, Nikki Bella, you are not as cool as you think you are.
hey man, you would know you were there for it. I mean, it's so sad to see because like one I want these legends to have their their final hurrah, but not at the expense of like the younger talent that also deserves a spot.
No, it's Nikki Bella coming back was like eh, she's not even the only one. She's just one that I'm focusing on currently that's like she came back and she's starting to take spots that really shouldn't belong to her anymore.
Yeah, because like for instance, we could I'm trying to think of like an older wrestler who came back. Oh, AJ putting everybody over.
Yeah.
For the most part, she won the IC title, put it on Becky. They even trading it back and forth. But like, I guess that's not like the best example because Becky's also like at this point a legend herself. But I don't
Trish
know.
Stratus.
There you go. When she came back and put Tiffany over.
hmm
There you go. But I was glad that night two was better. The matches were still short, but the content within the matches that we got was phenomenal. Like I'm hearing people saying that this was Roman's best main event, like in ring. I can't argue with them. Him and Punk made magic in that ring. I mean, Roman said as much himself, and I don't respect him at all.
You know, I I get why both and like I don't I also get why this happens, but I also personally don't like when they have this big extravagant entrance. Like Punk had the better entrance of the two because Romans was just kind of like tribal chief, same song and dance. There was, singing and there was a big orchestral
Yeah, they
like
played his
add-on.
OG entrance.
Yeah, but Punk's like basically sitting on the stadium, the roof of the stadium, the ROH theme playing, to which now I've got that on my playlist because it's a banger.
Same.
And just
It,
all of that to lose kind of sucked.
yeah, and I don't. It wasn't a believable loss because like Punk went God knows how many minutes with Gunther and won, and you're telling me he got CPs and just collapsed? I don't believe that. He had matches with AJ Styles, Finn Balor, amongst many other peoples, and longer matches. Granted, yeah, he got hit with the steel steps, but I think it's a dumb spot because the ref was looking right at Roman when he did that.
There was a meme of like Punk lying there, and I think it was somebody like Triple H or somebody saying, "Well, it took a few years, but we finally got there." Because I think Punk initially one of his reasons for leaving WWE was refusing to put Roman Reigns over because Roman was still green and in the Shield.
That's my king. That's my king.
Now, just putting the putting the disclaimer out there, that is pure speculatory on my part. I don't remember the reference of the source. Please do
Not
not take
mine.
my word as gospel for fuck's sake.
That is gospel. If you heard me say it, and I am saying it. Punk left WWE because he didn't want to put that bitch nigga Roman over because he sucks. Fake ass veneers. That's exactly what Dave said. We said it. Uh, but but speaking of entrances, I actually have to disagree. I don't think Punk had the best entrance. I think it's a tie between Finn and Dom. I think they had, without a doubt, my favorite entrances of both nights.
Oh, see, I was only saying between Punk and Roman. I cannot speak on
Gotcha.
the other entrances because I don't even know if I've seen either of them. It's kind of hard to remember if I've seen clips or not.
Oh, don't fret because you know WWE put a video of all the entrances on YouTube
Yeah.
immediately after night two ended. But no, seeing a Demon Finn Balor entrance for the first time, like live watching it as it's happening, like granted on the screen, dude, he like the smoke came out. There was like a heart like out front, and it looked like Finn was like diving in and out of the fog. It was so cool.
When I
And then he
first saw
gets up,
that,
hits the pose.
mhm, when I first saw that in NXT, before I even knew, like it was strictly for NXT pay-per-views. He only saved the demon look for NXT pay-per-views, and back then it wasn't a separate persona like they're fucking obsessed with doing. Oh, he's
Yeah,
bringing the demon out. He must have like power up, like ultra power. No, just it's a fucking gimmick. Just let him do like
yeah.
special event face paint. Just let him do that. But like when I first saw it in NXT, I was like, oh, what the fuck is happening right now? This is badass. And just the simple like holding the arms up along with his music is beautiful.
What really sold it for me, because as we all know, big New Japan fan. Um, when he first did the arms out pose, the streamers. Oh my god, I lost my shit when I saw the streamers. I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. And because the stage is built in such a way that a lot of the seats are a part of it, a lot of the fans got the streamers when they popped. So when he did it again in the ring, they threw them back in. I was like, y'all know ball. Y'all know ball. And I appreciate that. Ah, and then Dom's entrance, him coming out in the big throne with all the luchadors carrying the flags, that shit was tough. Oh man. And then they had an actual good match. Like it was like actually warranted the term street fight. I think they got like more down and dirty than the unsanctioned match the night before.
Yeah, this probably wasn't very hard to do.
Especially with those two like chuckle fucks in the ring, you got like Eddie Guerrero Jr. and the Demon. Yeah, you're gonna have a good street fight. Of course. I think my favorite spot though, Dom puts the chair around Finn's neck and hits a 619. I'm like, oh, gross. And then hits the splash. Finn kicks out and fucking won. Just, yeah. I was like, ah, shit. This is cool. And then at one point, Finn puts the chair on Dom, hits a John Woo drop kick, and you would have thought that like Dom got kicked by a truck the way he sold that shit. He almost fell out the ring. It. I think that was my favorite match of the night. Whether it be biased because how much I love Dom or how I believe Finn to have more like in him than they're booking him, but that was my match of the night. Even though Rhea hit a one wing angel and Trick became United States champion, I didn't fuck with that match. Not the Rhea Jade one. That match was a fucking banger.
Yeah.
They showed out. That was worth all that bullshit that they were saying to each other on Twitter. But Sammy and Trick, as good as both of them are, it just didn't deliver for me. And I think that's a shame. Oh, he the actual times for night two. Uh, yeah, that's why I probably didn't like it because Trick and Sammy went 8 minutes and 50 seconds.
Yeah, not a single match went over 15 except for the main events.
The ladder match did.
What did it go?
Ladder 15-10.
Oh, well.
Yeah, but no, all the matches on night one, all the women's matches were under 10 minutes. So that's Liv and Steph. You know the feud where they were beating the shit out of each other for weeks and talking about each other's moms. Yeah, that went under 10 minutes. The women's fatal four way tag match somehow that went under 10 minutes. Gunther and Steph, I think like 15:35. Ridiculous. Oba and Brock went under 5 minutes, which granted, that's probably how it should have been. That's probably the only like sub 10-minute match that I'll allow.
Yeah, Brock being there for under 5 minutes is the right move. Well, I mean, being there
Yeah.
zero is the right move, but if he's got to be in the card, it's going to be small.
And he retired,
Yep.
which I don't think
Hopefully.
was supposed to happen because he
Yeah,
threw up
he
the
did.
X.
He did the X. He looked at Paul Heyman. He took his boots off, all that stuff. He hugged him, and I like I was saying when you were out. I hope he fucks off to Minnesota and never comes back again.
Never comes back. I know there's some people saying that like Gunther's favor is to Heyman is him retiring Lesnar in Minneapolis at SummerSlam. I hope that never comes to fruition. I hope all those plans are out the window because Brock decided to go home. Um, God, 20 minutes worth of entrances for the main event in night two. That's insane. That's literally like blasphemy. I, that's the one thing that my mom did point out. It was like, hey, the entrances are really good at WrestleMania. Why didn't AEW do that? Because we take more focus about the wrestling itself.
Yeah, I thought of that when I saw a clip of when CM Punk used his ROH theme the first time in AEW.
Oh, Revolution.
Yeah, and his entrance there was just a big smoke machine in the entranceway, and then he comes out. Not
Yeah, and then
big
he proceeded to
cinematic
have one
camera
of the
drone thing.
greatest dog collar matches of all time with MJF.
Yeah, so see the match.
Yeah, that was my first AEW match I watched. Like when I was like, "What's this company? Oh, CM Punk was here. Oh, cool. Oh, this is art. This is blood fueled hatred in pure artistic expression, and I love it." My favorite spot in that match is, and maybe that's going to be one of the matches that we do like a retroactive like watch through on because it's so fucking good. MJF loses the ring and Punk has it, and Punk just wallops him, and the way Punk hits him is goofy as shit, but not as goofy as the way Max just like humbles and falls on top of the tacks, sits up, and screams like a Looney Tunes character. It's beautiful. And because um, MJF is one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, I have no doubt in my mind that he and Kevin Knight are going to have another classic for that TNT title next week.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, if it's for the TNT title, though, so it's a better chance of Max actually getting it.
I don't know because I'm I think it would be really cool if Kevin Knight wins clean and we could just get Kevin Knight putting that TNT title to a higher echelon, kind of akin to like, what Melo did with the US title. Cause man, I don't want to see Kevin Knight lose that belt. He's my boy. Uh, what else? Oh my gosh, I completely forgot. We already got Roman lying. He won the World Heavyweight Championship, said, I'm gonna be there every week. Y'all gonna get sick of seeing me. He showed up 15 minutes before the show ended. And I don't mean like, oh, he had a segment at the last portion of the show. You see him drive up to the show, and I marked it at 9:22. Cut a promo. Immediately the Usos fell back in line, like all that development just went away. And then Jacob Fatu's music hits. I'm like, no, don't do this. Don't do this to my boy. And Roman's like, oh, you must be out here for one of two reasons. The one that comes to mind first is to acknowledge me. I hate when he does that shit. You're not threatening. Whenever he's like, gets into that deeper gravelly register, it's like, bro, you're that's not it, bro. You're goofy. But Jacob was like, nah, I don't want to acknowledge you, but I want that belt. I need that belt. I don't want to be tribal chief, but I need everything the tribal chief has. I want that Rolex. I want to put my kids in a better school. I want a bigger house. I want more cars. I said, yeah. Yeah, talk your shit. Talk your shit. Uh but Roman, because he can't cut a promo to save his life. I don't know if you're ready to handle this responsibility. Even if you do beat me, will you be able to handle the weight of this belt? And if you can't, will you be able to handle the weight of acknowledging me? What are you, 12? Jacob Fatu is a multi-time world champion. That nigga was locked up in jail. You don't think he can carry a 10-pound fake gold belt? Get the fuck out of here. But I know Jacob's not gonna win because it's probably gonna end up being Oba and Roman at SummerSlam, which I would love to see. Don't get me wrong, but only if Oba wins.
Yeah.
Only if Oba wins by also beating Roman and the Usos all at once. 3v1 handicap match. Bloodline rules, as they call it. Um, and then with this past Dynamite that just happened, where we got the announcement of MJF versus Kevin Knight for the TNT title, we also got the return of the Samoan submission machine, the greatest Samoan wrestler named Joe, the killer, Samoa Joe. And I can't be happier. I cannot be happier because my immediate thought was, wait a minute, Samoa Joe's a former TNT champion. Kevin Knight versus Samoa Joe? Mmm, because we already know that's the perfect match for those two because Kevin Knight's gonna try to hit a frog splash and then Samoa Joe's gonna walk away.
It's my favorite thing he does. Just casually walk off.
And I remember when we were watching it yesterday, I was a little ahead of you as you said, "Man, I hope he does the walk away thing." He did it, and I was like, "Ah, man, he heard you. He knows his fans." And then a quick jump to New Japan. We're getting some crazy shit. As we mentioned earlier, Gabe Kidd is hurt, so he is no longer the opponent for Yoshitsuji's global IWGP Global Championship. It's now Andrade. Oh man, if you don't know how crazy Yoshitsuji can get down in the ring, you are not ready. This is going to be a match of the year contender. Point blank. Period. Ooh, Yoshitsuji has slowly become one of my like favorite wrestlers, like regardless of promotion, just based on his in-ring ability. He just granted I can't really understand him because I speak English, he speaks Japanese, but at the end of the day, I'm like, damn, I feel you. I feel you in here. And then more gold contention. United Empire, specifically Will Ospreay, Great Okan, and Hanare, are going after the six-man tag championships. Don't know how that's gonna go after Will Ospreay got pile drived on the apron and they had to stop the match. Um, fuck you, Mark Davis. But I'm excited for that nonetheless. And there is going to be a number one contenders match for the IWGP Tag Team Championships. It's going to be the United Empire, Great Okan, and Hanare, a team who never lost their belts. They were never pinned or submitted. And then Bishamon, Hiroki Goto, and my nigga Yoshihashi, which I'm very excited for. I think that already happened, and I'm pretty sure Bishamon won. So it's going to be Bishamon versus the Knockout Brothers for the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Belts, and it's going to be Ichiban Sweet Boys and Unbound Express for the Junior Tag Belts. So I'm like, hell yeah, bro. Let's do it. You even got Tiger Mask getting a title shot for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship for against Doki. I'm like, oh shit. Wrestling Dokaku sounds gas. Because the main event for that is going to be Callum Newman versus Shingo Takagi. And if you don't know Shingo Takagi, you don't know ball. At point blank, period. That's the rampaging dragon. I, mm, hey, that match is going to be insane. Because Callum Newman is not going to want to get hit. And I don't blame him. I wouldn't either. Shingo Takagi is one of those wrestlers that has like one of them punches, like Takeshita, like Hangman, like God, who's the white guy I'm thinking about? Anyway, but Alistair Black. Even though his is like a kick, but still, like Shingo Takagi has one of them. It always resonates whenever he does it. He's just so cool. I love Shingo Takagi. And the last thing I think I would like to talk about on this episode is the Dynamite main event.
Waiting for that. Yeah.
My God, that might be my highlight of the week. That psycho driller from the top to the floor.
Hey, how about I just kill Darby Allen like right here
Yeah,
on
for
national
real.
television?
And you know what? You know what makes me laugh even harder about that? I bet that was Darby's idea.
Yeah.
Hey man, why don't you hit me with the psycho driller from the top turnbuckle to the floor? Dude, that's gonna be sick as hell. You don't understand. Max is gonna be so pissed. That's my Darby impression. But no, man, that match was fucking awesome. I legitimately thought Tommaso was gonna win a couple of times in that match. That second kill shot knee when he pulled down the knee pad, I said, "Oh, he's dead. He's dead." And then I don't know if he kicked out in one or just kicked out really aggressively, but then he basically did like the Undertaker like sit up and was just like, "Come on!" If this is going to be what Darby Allin's championship reign is going to be like,
Oh man.
we might be
So
in for a treat.
his next match is against Brody King, and Brody King is going to just throw him around.
Dude, I need a recreation of the spot where Claudio throws him at the announce table. Brody, I know you're strong enough. Just checking him. Oh man, no, it's been eight. Like, granted, WWE has been doing things. Are they fun? Are they interesting? No, but that only gives me more reason to watch AEW and be like, damn, Leo Rush versus Brody King. Mm, mm. We in there. We're in there. We're trying new things. We're having fun. Who'd have thought?
Right.
Who'd have thought showcasing other wrestlers like the Swirl Lee Johnson and Blake Christian on AEW television. Who'd have thought that that'd be something fun and interesting to do?
I remember first seeing them and seeing that tag name and going, "What the fuck is the swirl?" It's like they're reminded me of Swirly, like putting in the toilet. And then watching the match, I'm like, "Oh no, these are great wrestlers. Never mind."
And then I had to tell you, it was like, oh, Blake Christian's gimmick is vanilla baby, ice cream. So they're the swirl, chocolate and
Yes.
vanilla,
And then
which
that's when it clicked. So my initial reaction, and this is me personally, my initial reaction to something that I'm unfamiliar with or that sounds odd on the surface, my initial knee jerk reaction is to hate it. So I'm asking anyone that would come across me to bear with me because in time I will probably like said thing when I understand it fully.
I can't even get mad at you about that because I had the same thing with Mercedes Monet. I was like, I don't get it. Why do y'all like her so much? And then I watched her have a match against Willow. I said, oh, she might be one of the greatest black wrestlers to ever do it. Shame. Why was I not on the bandwagon before? And now, God forbid, it's 2026, April 23rd, and I miss Mercedes Monet on TV. Who'd have thought? Who'd have freaking thought? And then is there any other matches announced for Dynamite? So I mean for Double or Nothing so far? Just the two?
I think it's just the two.
Just the Kesuke and Okada, and then the New York Street Fight between FTR and Cage and Cope.
I am so excited to see Cope and Christian live. I've seen actually FTR, Edge and Christian both live before. In fact, one of the first times, or actually the first time, I saw Edge and Christian when they were teaming with Rhino, and I was in the aisle, so I got to see them up close when they're walking down the ramp.
Damn, so you got to see a spear, a gore, and an unprettier.
So now I'm gonna like I'm gonna see them because I got floor seats to Double or Nothing. It's not gonna be on the ramp or anything, but I am very close.
Tony Khan, if you're watching this, because I know you are, I know you watch everything that involves AEW, come back to San Antonio, please. I'll buy tickets. I'll buy floor seats. I will buy tickets. You just need to come back. In San Antonio, that's a wrestling mecca. You got some of the greatest wrestlers of all time to come out of Texas. Jose Lothario, Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Athena. Athena's from Austin, bro. You know how hard it is to be black and awesome and make it out of Austin? Athena knows. Athena knows for sure. Hell, even Booker T. Booker T's from Houston. Or at least he claims to be from Houston. So yeah, man. Roxanne Perez, she's from Texas. I think she's from Laredo, which we won't hold that against her. That's a Texas joke. All my Texas fans will get that. Fucking hate Laredo. It's terrible. Ain't shit to do there. Ain't not a thing to do there.
Well, I hate
But
Florida for pretty
the,
much the same reason.
oh, that's when my dad left. The second my dad was able to leave, he fucking got the hell out of Key West. I don't know why he decided to go to Texas, but hey man, anything better than Florida.
It is.
Except you know what? I feel like it would have been cool to live in Florida because the performance center is there, and I would love to be fucking frequenting NXT shows.
So if you go to like North Florida, there's a lot of North Florida that's decent. It's when you go further south that it's either too rich, too boring, or both.
Yeah. Speaking of NXT, there is something that I want to bring up that I one thing that I heard Tuesday, and then one thing I heard today. Um we were blessed finally with the vignette of a wrestler that I have been looking forward to debut for the second that she got signed with the WWID whatever. Raven Leverkusen, now known as Lizzie Rain, the Maiden of Metal. If you're not watching NXT, please watch this Tuesday because you guys are about to see something spectacular. Oh my god. Her finisher, the Thunderstruck, might be one of my favorite finishers ever because she steps on your knee and then hits you in the head with her kneecap.
Mm.
It's amazing. And then the other thing regarding NXT, apparently, Tony D'Angelo was given a note by, I do not know what the new GM's name is. I know his last name is Stone,
Uh,
but
Rick Stone or something? Is that
hold on.
because
No,
he
I
used to be
don't
a
think
manager,
it's.
right? He had like two small pants.
Let me see. NXT new GM.
He used to be a manager of several
Robert
wrestlers.
Stone.
Ah, yes.
Robert Stone. You were close with the R, but he got like a letter with kanji on it, and I haven't been able to translate it or see someone who has translated, but it's one big kanji, and there's only one unsigned big Japanese wrestler who would make sense for him to go against Tony D'Angelo. And you know him, I know him, we all love him. He was a former member and leader of the Bullet Club House of Torture. Watashi wa evil. Minasa evil. I don't know if they're going to keep his name. I don't know if it's going to be bad or not good or whatever bullshit they want to change his already sick as fuck name. But I hope it's evil. The only other option is Hiromu Takahashi, but Evil is the one who said that he wants to go to NXT. Like they said that they would put him on the main roster, but he actively chose to go to NXT first, allegedly, of course, dirt sheets.
Mm.
Um, to go to NXT first so he can get a better understanding of the WWE style. And so, I mean, I'm already looking for more reasons to watch NXT. If they put Evil in that bitch, shit. It's gonna be like Kenta was in that hoe. Yo, you remember that back in the day?
Oh yes.
I don't. Yes, sir. Especially if both of them debut together and they just start running rough shop between the entire division, like separately, dude. My first introduction to Takahashi was his match at Forbidden Door against Kyle Fletcher for the TNT title, and that just put me on. I was like, "Oh, damn, you can have a good match with the Proto Star. You must be great." So wrestling right now, with certain exceptions, is on and popping.
Yeah.
Definitely on and popping. We got Obafemi on Raw officially after retiring Bork Laser. I'm not calling him by his real name no more. He's not there, so there's no real reason for me to. And the reason I know that he's gonna get like the biggest push ever, there's already people on the internet hating on him. So we're good. And then Javon, even though he lost, he still had the spot of the night. That OG cutter from the top ring post off the ladder from Rusev. Yeah. With all of the downfalls of WrestleMania night one and what they tried to do to fix it with night two, I could at least say that the black wrestlers gonna be fine. At least the two that were there. Because why was Mello not at Mania? The world may never know.
I just pictured Triple H
I,
looking at a color chart and being like, "Oh, the ratio's
the
off."
Family Guy one or the okay, not okay.
Yes. Yes.
I was like, yeah, maybe next year, maybe in Saudi. God, because that's what they announced too. I don't know if you saw that
Saudi
WrestleMania
Mania.
43.
Yeah.
Yep. Out of all the manias that you wanted to do out of the states, you picked that one. Okay, that's fine. At least we know it's not Triple H's fault anymore. I guess there's some solace. At least he's not completely washed. He's just spineless.
Triple H is just really fucking bad at lying.
Hey, I think this is a great idea. What if we, what if we have Pat McAfee run in a ref shirt and then have Randy RKO him for the finish? And then you have all the yes, you got Bruce Pritchard and Michael B.S. Hayes. That's a great idea, Trips. We should do that 6 more times. What about the Shield chair?
That guy that I've mentioned before that does the Triple H impression on social media, he does a bunch of
Yeah.
other ones too, like Michael P.S. Hayes. You see him in the captions. Well, doot doot doot, boss. I'm like, I've never heard him say doot doot doot, but now I can't unhear it.
Now I'm sure that's what he only says. That's his catchphrase. He wouldn't lie. That'd be evil. I've never known a single wrestler to fib. No one tell a tall tale. They're all truthful, honest men and women.
Kofi Kingston's accent? Never heard of it.
Never heard of it. What do you mean that Obafemi's faking the accent? No, he's not.
I'm actually not sure about that. I'm not sure if he is or
He
isn't.
is. He is. He is. 100%. And it's not in the ways it was like he doesn't have a Nigerian accent. He does, but it's just not as thick. So when
Mm.
he's Obafemi, he just kind of like turned it on a little bit, the same way I would do with my twang. I just have to, but the opposite, where I turn it down, he just turns the accent up. It's nowhere the same as Kofi. Kofi doesn't have a Jamaican accent and never did probably.
Kofi Kingston, I don't even, he's not even from
He's
he's
from
not from
Ghana.
any. Yeah, it's
If I'm like remembering correct, I think he's from Africa.
well, that's what they bill him from Ghana, West Africa, I think.
Yeah. So I'm just like, what? And the moment that the Y tries to leave my lips, I remember who was in charge of the company, and
You're
then I'm like,
black, you're
ah,
from
yes,
Africa,
that's why.
pal. Or you're from Jamaica, pal. He just picked a place.
He said, "You know what? I'll get you over with the accent." And Kofi said, "All right, boss." Kofi was trying to get paid. I can't really fault him for that, especially in that time. If that happened now, I'd have to be like, "Hey, man, what's going on? Are you safe? Blink twice if you need help." But I didn't ask you what was your highlight of the week if you have one. And please, please, can it not be Tekla this week? I feel like you've given her enough of her flowers.
No,
She knows, Dave. She knows.
I can't do it because like there wasn't really anything, and I it was just a coincidence that she stood out 2 weeks in a row or three maybe, I don't know, but I want to say out of all the wrestling and stuff that stuck with me, because I don't want to just like fake it and be like, oh yeah, it's just this one thing. No, I the thing that actually stuck with me was the CM Punk entrance at Mania.
Okay,
I think that,
I
that
can get
that's
mad at that.
that's actually I think what I've watched the most. I actually actively went back to watch it again because I just loved every bit of it. Every bit of the presentation was really good.
I think my favorite part of that whole entrance is when he gets to the ramp, does the little thing on the ramp, and then he says that it's clobbering time, and then Cult of Personality
Yep.
plays, and the vibrancy of the Titantron. Because when he comes out, it's off, and then the blue red neon just hits, and then I said, ah, they he yeah, it felt like that entrance was for the long time ride or die CM Punk fan. Like if you were watching him in Ring of Honor, when he first got to WWE, when he had the long hair and the lip piercing and the shorts with the zip up, like that was for those Punk fans. And I, granted, am not one of those, but as someone who routinely will go back and watch early 2010s, early 2000s Ring of Honor, I can appreciate the sentiment for being like every version of CM Punk was on display. Same with Cody and you know, or I guess Cody because he's the only one that had that kind of entrance this year. But it felt more earned for Punk.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish they would have played the undashing um the infrared just a tad. Just a tad. Yeah, Cody Rhodes. I know those aren't the words, but Brett what's his fucking name? Barrett. Wade Barrett said it one time and I was like, well, that's the funniest thing I've ever heard Wade Barrett say. So now those are the words to me.
You ever hear an alternate version of Randy Orton's old theme?
Oh yeah, I've seen clips that hey, this song is really gay. And Randy does Randy hate that one or like that one
I
more?
think Randy does. I think Randy doesn't like that one, maybe because of that. But um,
Mm.
I didn't even hear it until a friend of mine, like a while ago, started singing that to me. He was like, now I can't unhear that. That's so
Because
fucked
the
up.
lyrics are, hey, there's nothing you can say, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's what I've been saying. And then I would see TikTok clips of being like, am I saying it wrong? No, this is a joke. This is a joke. Okay, okay. I'm good. I'm chilling.
No, it's like when Sheamus's old theme. It's a shameful thing. Lobster head. It's I love that theme though. I was so disappointed that that came out and Sheamus, even Sheamus was in like a ride along episode acknowledging the parody and making fun of it.
I think Samus is one of those wrestlers who's in tune with the internet, which I don't know how, being as old as he is, but he's always just like, yeah, I'm in tune. I'm locked in with the youth. Love him to death. I hope he's doing all right. I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah, me either.
But my highlight of the week, I think it might be the demon match because it was my first demon Finn Balor match, and I've been singing the praises of we need a Balor push in 2024. I mean 2025. I mean 2026. And we might
Balor
be getting it.
needs
He took the
Balor
pants
needs so
off.
much
So
more.
I mean, we were keeping the entrance still. He has the old gear on. He won twice in a twice in 2 weeks. He won at Mania and he won on Raw. I can't call him Finn Balor anymore in good conscience. I can't. He's winning again.
Yeah.
Granted, do I think that he's ever going to be in world title contention? Yes, because I have hope. I just do. He shaved his beard. I didn't think he was ever going to do that,
Dude,
but he trimmed it down.
imagine another Roman Reigns feud but better because the last one he had like the turnbuckle collapse and it was
Yeah,
ridiculously
an act
stupid.
of God.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was explaining that to Connor, my roommate. I was like, um, because he asked me like, "Oh, do you think Finn Balor is gonna, do anything this year?" And I was like, "Hey, man, Roman is the world heavyweight champion right now. The last time he went up against that man, it took an act of God, a literal act of divine intervention for Finn Balor to lose that match." He said, "What do you mean? The turnbuckle broke." He said, "Oh, you mean like somebody like fiddled with it like before, like during the match, and it was like storytelling?" I said, "No." He got up for the coup de grace. The turnbuckle broke. They turned the overhead lights on. Boom, boom, spear. 1, 2, 3. He said, "Oh, that's bullshit. Did he get a rematch?" No. He still hasn't got one, and it's been how many years?
Oh, quite a few. Mm.
Yeah, maybe who knows? Who knows? Maybe at Mania Saudi, we get the Demon versus the OTC in a Bloodline Rules Hell in a Cell match on a stick. Because that's the way TK was booking these matches these days. But I will say, you know what? to end on a positive note to talk about WWE, they called up Sol Ruka, Ethan Page, and possibly Joe Hendry, and I think that is a net positive.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Because her Sol Ruka's first match was against Liv Morgan. So I'm like, you know what? Cool. And I will say, not a highlight of the week, but a definite like, oh shit, that was fucking awesome. Sol Ruka countering the Oblivion.
Mm-hmm.
In the same vein that Mustafa Ali countered the RKO. But it seemed cooler because like Sol Ruka's forearm strength is insane. Because you could see her like literally like push herself off the ground from the like inverted kip up, as I'll call it. He was fucking sick.
All right, well, that's going to do it for tonight. We will be back next week, probably.
I think so, yeah.
Cass, where can the good people find you?
You can always find me on TikTok at Mr. Must See TV and Instagram at yeah_pump, even though that's just mainly for my memes. I don't really post a lot of wrestling content on there unless it's just what am seeing actively.
And I am Dynatos1138 on all socials. I am mostly, you will see me on its fan box for a lot of different things. Doctor Who podcasts whenever we can. It's really, the schedules are always tentative because we all do this for yucks and for fun. And we don't get paid for any of it. And we all have very, very different lives. So a lot
And
of stuff,
schedules.
a lot of different schedules, but we always love coming together and talking about these kind of things. I'm still kind of on TikTok. I'd love to talk about Daredevil, Invincible, and all of those stuff. I just haven't had the time to sit down and actually do a video. It's all just random off the cuff stuff that I think of, and I'm like, I need to pull out my phone right now, make a video, or I'm gonna forget. So there's no production behind it. There's just me talking at my phone. Anyway, that's enough rambling for me. We'll see you guys next week. Have a good night.
It's a sandbox. It's a soapbox. It's banned.